Nick Kyrgios is one of the players featured in Netflix's new tennis documentary Breakpoint. Nick Kyrgios has learned his rival's true feelings as players both past and present attempted to describe the often controversial Australian in Netflix's new documentary Breakpoint. The world number 21 as the star of the first episode titles the Maverick, but he divides opinion as Stefanos Tsitsipas brands him a devil on the court, while one former pro claimed that he was a generational talent. Kyrgios is one of the players being followed in Netflix's new Drive to Survive style tennis show, which launched on Friday. Ahead of the upcoming Australian Open, the 27-year-old's time at his home tournament last year will be relived in the first episode as he gives an honest insight on his past struggles with drinking and explains his on-court outbursts. The likes of Ons Jabeur, Taylor Fritz and Matteo Berrettini also feature later in the series, while fellow pros give insight on one another. And Kyrgios is arguably the most interesting subject to hear his rivals speak about, given his on-court antics, which often see him receive fines and code violations. Just as he does every time he takes to the court, Kyrgios splits the opinion of even his colleagues during the documentary as he learns his fellow players' true thoughts. Tsitsipas shares his opinion on the Aussie early on in the episode, an interesting judge of Kyrgios' character given their love-hate relationship that has played out over the last few years, and brands him a devil. "He's not a bad guy, but he just becomes a devil when he enters the court," the 9-time title winner claimed. It comes after the pair started arguing on social media in 2018 before patching things up and even joining forces in the doubles a year later, before 2022 saw them trade blows following their fiery Wimbledon third-round clash, as Tsitsipas called his opponent a bully at the time. Meanwhile, retired former world number 1 Andy Roddick claims that the Wimbledon finalist feels more like a casual player given his limited schedule. "He's like a part-time tennis player. He doesn't play that often, he takes months off at a time. It's like a hobby," the former US Open champion said. But in true Kyrgios fashion, the world number 21 has his peers at odds as two players claim he is one of the most talented of his generation. Another retired pro and John McEnroe gives his thoughts on the Australian, saying, "I think he's the most talented tennis player that I've seen in 10 years. And 26-year-old Matteo Berrettini lauds Kyrgios above even himself, explaining, "He's probably the most talented player from our generation, but other players opt not to get involved," as Taylor Fritz simply laughs and adds, "I could say a lot about Nick." While the likes of Tsitsipas are critical of his behavior on the tennis court, Kyrgios explains later in the documentary that he can't lose his as a result of his passion. "In the heat of the battle I'm two different people. Sometimes I do cross the line. That's just my passion, that's my emotion. Millions of people watching you and you're not playing your best, would you not be frustrated and angry? I have to let it out there," he says.